What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here. In this one, we got a Memorial Day special for you guys. Going to be talking about where Michigan head coach Sherrone Moore stands in CBS Sports' ranking of top Power 4 head coaches, why he may have been ranked a little too low. Now, we also go over a lot of recruiting news for the Wolverines, as Michigan coaching staff has been out visiting top targets, including two top 5-star targets for the Wolverines, some top linebacker targets that Brian Jean-Mary has been seeing, also some top targets dropping their top schools list and commitment dates. And we also got a new flip target for the Wolverines, a very intriguing one, and an update on the top cornerback target and current LSU commit Havon Finney. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend and is having a great Memorial Day. We got a Michigan football report special here on Memorial Day, as we're going to be talking about a lot of recruiting news and updates here for the Wolverines. But before we get into that, I wanted to start by talking about where Michigan head coach Sherrone Moore stands in CBS Sports ranking of top Power 4 head coaches. As some of you guys may have already seen this list already, but he ranked 52nd in CBS Sports list of the top head coaches in the Power 4 coming into his first season in 2024, but since, he has dropped 6 spots to number 58 out of 68 coaches ahead of the 2025 season, as obviously Michigan had an up and down 2024 season, but ultimately had a great end of the season beating Ohio State and Alabama. So let me know what you guys think about that. There are 14 more head coaches ranked above Sherrone Moore in the Big Ten. Even Michigan State's Jonathan Smith is ranked number 49 ahead of Sherrone Moore. So I thought that was interesting, especially with Sherrone Moore coming off a pretty dang good end of the season, despite having one of the worst offenses in college football with wins over Ohio State and Alabama. But obviously it wasn't up to Michigan standards, the 8-5 season, and it's going to be a big second year for Sherrone Moore. So, the number 58 to me seems a little bit too low for Sherrone Moore. I do get it though, coming off an 8-5 season. Definitely think he should be ranked above a couple more of those Big Ten coaches, but he's got a lot to prove still. So I did think that was interesting though. And then we do got a lot of recruiting news to talk about here for the Wolverines, and it is all quite good, as obviously Michigan has landed 2 commitments from their 2 top tight end targets already in the 2026 class, but with the contact ban up, the coaches this past week was visiting multiple top targets, including a couple 5-stars, and one of them was Savion, the number one running back in the 2026 class. And according to E.G. Holland of On3 and the Wolverine, his meeting with running backs coach Tony Elford recently was a positive one. Michigan's still in a good spot. They get him on campus for an official visit, but one team becoming a major threat is Tennessee, as he recently took a visit there this weekend. Now, Michigan, on his official visit, they'll have to get the business side right, in more particular, the NIL, as Tennessee, they've already kind of talked NIL with him, but Michigan's going to get their chance, and, definitely still one of the top schools in the mix, including, others like Ohio State and Georgia. And then another 5-star Michigan did go and visit was the 2026 5-star linebacker Tyler Atkinson from the state of Georgia. Brian Jean-Mary has been visiting multiple top linebacker targets, including Atkinson, who we did go visit this past week. And Michigan's been going after him. It's obviously going to be very tough to land him, but as we know, with NIL, anything's possible. But it was definitely key for Brian Jean-Mary to go visit him. He also obviously has visited Nick Abrams, another top linebacker target. Recently saw the Auburn flip target and current Auburn commit Shadarius Tootle. Before the contact ban, he has been a top target as well, and he also recently saw Braden Rouse, who is a 4-star top 100 linebacker in the 2026 class, and he also saw the 4-star linebacker Kenneth Goodwin, who recently dropped a top 5 consisting of SMU, Georgia, Texas A&M, Michigan, and Oregon, and will decide July 1st. There's currently no predictions put in. Georgia right now leads on the On3 recruiting prediction machine. He is from the state of California. Obviously, Oregon will be a threat too, but he is set to make some official visits before deciding July 1st. He'll be taking an official visit to Michigan on June 13th. So Brian Jean-Mary trying to land one or two top linebacker targets in the 2026 class this cycle. And then I also wanted to talk about Malachi Lee, who has been a top offensive line target for the Wolverines for quite some time as well. A 4-star offensive tackle from the state of Hawaii. He is down to now 4 schools, which include Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, and Texas. As he told Steve Wiltfong of On3 that I feel very grateful and honored to all the coaches that hosted me on campus and flew to see me all the way in Hawaii. I connected with so many great coaches and people during this process. He did say I'll be taking the rest of my official visits in June, and I'm really just waiting for that gut feeling that I'm home. And speaking on Michigan, he said, Michigan really set the standard for me because they invited me out to a game first, and also my relationship with Coach Moore and Coach Newsome are really great. And also another thing that stands out to him is how much Michigan and also Grant Newsome travels out to Hawaii to see him. I mean, that was the first thing Grant Newsome did. One of the first things he did was fly out to Hawaii after the contact ban to see Malachi Lee, and he has gone out there multiple times to visit him. Another guy who dropped a top list was the 2026 4-star edge Mikhail Blade, as he dropped a top 7 consisting of Purdue, Wisconsin, Illinois, Stanford, USC, Michigan, and Notre Dame, and will make a commitment on July 4th. Currently has no crystal ball predictions, but Notre Dame has had some On3 predictions going in their favor for quite some time now. He'll be taking an official visit to Michigan on June 6th. And speaking on Michigan, according to Alan True of 24/7 Sports, he said that, Michigan, another huge school close to home, and I have a close relationship with Coach Moore and Coach Esposito, the defensive line coach. I'm tight with him. I know a lot of guys on the roster like Trey Pierce, and it's another great school with great education, and I know they developed guys. But the next thing I do want to talk about is some news on a couple flip targets and a new potential flip target for the Wolverines. That is the 2026 4-star top 100 cornerback and current Nebraska commit CJ Brana out of the state of Florida. He is a speedy defensive back currently committed to Nebraska. However, Michigan and defensive backs coach Lamar Morgan recently offered him a scholarship. Michigan also is fighting to get him on campus for an official visit, which they may get one, and if they do, look out. He has been committed to Nebraska since November, and we've also talked about Michigan going after the 3-star Georgia Tech cornerback commit Travis Stevenson. So those are a couple new flip targets for the Wolverines, and a couple new cornerback potential flip targets for the Wolverines in the 2026 class. And obviously another one Wolverines are still recruiting is the top 100 cornerback Havon Finney, currently committed to LSU, but the Wolverines are not stopping. In fact, according to Ethan McDowell of On3 and the Wolverine, Finney's father said that he loves Michigan. He loves Coach Morgan, and to be honest with you, he was down to LSU, Michigan, and Ohio State. Those are his go-to schools. And he also did say that there have been talks of a future official visit potentially, making time to get up there to Michigan. So there's certainly some interest in Michigan there, and Michigan's not going to stop going after him, even despite his commitment currently to LSU. And we all know what this coaching staff is capable of. We've seen it at the end of the 2025 class, especially with Lamar Morgan. But with that, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it. And other than that, hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.